Hello, my beautiful people. This is an English episode. I will speak English, but don't worry, okay? You will be okay. You will be fine. You will understand everything. Well, not everything, but most of the things that I say, you will understand. And if you don't, usually every now and then, I pause and I switch to Czech. Sem tam, every now and then, já se zastavím, switchnu do češtiny, vysvětlím, co je potřeba v češtině, ty se to naučíš, pokud chceš, můžeš si to i zapsat, pokud ne, you just keep doing what you're doing, whether you are in the gym, at the gym I should be saying, whether you're at the gym, whether you're, I don't know, going for a walk, or whether you're driving a car, like my good friend Vladia, who always listens to this podcast, driving. Just enjoy this. Don't stress over it. We are all here to have fun. As am I. I'm here because I enjoy this shit, right? So let's enjoy ourselves. And I will try to answer the question to the best of my abilities. Nejlíp, jak umím. To the best of my abilities. Nevím, jestli jsem si tu frázi právě nevymyslel, ale líbí se mi, jak zní. So, kolik kávy denně vypiješ? I have to say my relationship with coffee has changed. At some point, I realized that it is an addictive substance. V jeden moment, at some point, I realized, jsem si uvědomil, že to je návyková látka. That it's an addictive substance. And I think that a lot of people don't see coffee for what it is, and that is a drug. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but we should call a spade a spade. I think that's a cool phrase. Nazývejme věci pravými jmény. To mě teď napadlo. Let's call a spade a spade. I think that's a phrase. Yeah, to call a spade a spade. Jo, nazývejme rýč rýčem. Nebo taky spades jsou, já neumím v češtině, ty píky, kule, vole, zelený. Prostě když je žolíky, tak takový ty lístky, myslím, že jsou to, tak to jsou spades. Jo, čili 8 of spades bude ta listová osmička. Jo. I'm sorry, I digressed, to jsem trošku odbočil. So let's call a spade a spade. Nazýváme věci pravými jmény. Coffee is a fucking drug. Just like cocaine, just like alcohol, just like nicotine. I mean, they can vary in their effects. Můžou se lišit ve svých v těch vlivech, but they are still drugs. And when I started using, or you can say abusing coffee, abusing is negative, right? So abusing is negative. When I started using coffee, drinking coffee, I was maybe 17 years of age. I was 16 or 17 years old. And, I wasn't giving it much thought. Moc jsem o tom nepřemýšlel. I wasn't giving it much thought. I was like, hey, I'm gonna hype myself up before the workout, right? I drink a cup of Joe. That's coffee. A cup of Joe, a cup of coffee. I feel more energized. My palms, they start sweating. Začnou se mi potit dlaně. They don't anymore. Nowadays, I don't get the same result. Dneska už nemám ten samý výsledek. I don't get the same effect from drinking a cup of coffee like I did back in the day. And I think that's normal for any kind of drug, right? The first time you have cocaine, I'm not going to talk about cocaine here. But anyway, you know what I mean. So I would always drink coffee before a workout, and only then. Já jsem vždycky pil kafe před cvičením a jenom před cvičením. But then I think for studying, for learning, for tests and stuff like that, I also began drinking coffee. And a couple of years have passed, and then I started teaching in coffee shops, right? And that was the breaking point where I would drink 5 to 6 cups a day, and I think that's a lot. I really now when I look back, the effect that it had, let's say, on my sleep patterns, on the quality of my sleep, was very detrimental. Detrimental, that's a cool word. Občas mě napadají takový krásný slova, nemám to připravený. Jak se řekne detrimental? Něco jako na úkor. Škodlivý, jo. Recent policies have been detrimental to the interests of many old people. Jo, takže nedávné politiky byly škodlivé vůči zájmům starých lidí. A já bych řekl, že škodlivý, neblahý, škodící. Takže jako na úkor něčemu. Já to překládám jako na úkor, mně se to líbí. So I think that coffee can be detrimental. In America we would say detrimental, okay? There are some benefits to coffee and maybe some risks, health risks, when it comes to coffee. We will talk about those later. I will try to finish the story right now, okay? So I wasn't giving it much thought. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I was increasing my dosage, jsem zvyšoval svoji dávku, exponentially, a lot, right? And then, I don't know, a point of revelation, or how would you say, prozření. I had an epiphany, maybe. Prozření, awakening, yeah. Epiphany je zjevení. So I just realized that I shouldn't be drinking so much coffee. So now I set a couple of rules that I follow. Nastavil jsem si pravidla, které teďka dodržuju. My rule number 1 is no more than 2 coffees usually a day. When I really want to treat myself, I can drink 3 coffees. But we also have to talk about what is a coffee, right? There's a huge difference between a turek, right? Což rozpustí nebo turka, and a regular espresso. I think a turek can have over like 10 times of caffeine than a regular espresso. By the way, in English, we don't say espresso. It's not espresso, it's espresso. A lot of Americans they tend to mess this up. Američani taky mají tendence to říkat špatně. A lot of Americans tend to mess this up. So a regular espresso, I think, is like 60 milligrams of caffeine. Watch out for the different pronunciation. Jo, jiná výslovnost ve slově kofein, káva a kavárna. Caffeine, tam je otevřený A. Kafe je s Očkem, ale taky otevřeným. Coffee, no to bylo víc newyorský, v Kalifornii bychom řekli víc coffee. Coffee. I don't drink coffee. Jo, ale není to úplně A, není to coffee, jo. A kavárna je zase café. Café. Jo, takže jsou to 3 různé výslovnosti. So yeah, like 60 milligrams of caffeine in 1 espresso. I drink these tiny espressos. So that's my rule number 1. 2, 3 cups tops, but usually it's 2. Just the sheer amount of caffeine had to be reduced. Už jenom prostě množství jsem musel snížit. To bylo moje první pravidlo, to reduce the amount. Snížit množství. My second rule is I never ever let coffee wake me up. I think that's a big one. And many people, maybe not in the Czech Republic, but I think a lot of Americans, they don't realize that it disrupts your natural cycle, you know, the cycle of sleep and awakeness, right? So your body has the ability to wake itself up with stress hormones and other, I don't know, dopamine and stuff like that. Takže tvoje tělo má schopnost se probudit samo. But if you never let it wake up naturally, you always boost it with caffeine, you know, the body will think to itself, hey, maybe I don't need to wake up because coffee will always wake me up. This guy always provides me with a fresh and nice smelling cup of coffee every morning right when I wake up. So why should I bother? Proč bych se tady obtěžoval, si říká to tělo. Dostanu kafíčko při probuzení and that's very nice and I feel good. I mean, after I drink the coffee. You know, there are these people who say, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. I think that's like the fact that you don't see it as a problem and it's like normal among people to say this. Hey, I haven't had my coffee. Don't talk to me. I'm so grumpy before I have my coffee. Doesn't it, you know, kind of tell you something? Doesn't it tell you, isn't that telling you that you might have a problem or at least a dependency? Dependency je jiný typ závislosti než addiction. Jo? Addiction bývá vážnější. Dependency znamená, že tam nějaká závislost je, ale je to trošku jiný typ závislosti. So, I usually wait at least 2 hours, normally 2 hours before, 2 hours after I wake up to drink my first cup of joe. By then I am fully awake and my body is as well. Takže tou dobou už jsem plně vzhůru a moje tělo taky. Yeah, that's my rule number 1. My rule number 3 is drink at least a liter of water before I drink my first coffee because coffee, as we all know, dehydrates you. Všichni víme, že káva tě dehydratuje, odvádí ti vodu z těla and it's not okay to drink coffee first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Some people say you should also eat something before you drink coffee, but I don't. I usually eat my first meal at 2 or 3 p.m. So I always drink coffee on an empty stomach. So that was rule number 3. And then my last rule is I try not to drink coffee after 4 p.m. at latest. Okay, so that's my yeah, I think normally at 3 p.m. I drink my last cup. Usually that's the second cup. Because, and again, the majority of users or coffee drinkers don't realize, but it takes about 12 hours for caffeine to, or it takes 12 hours for your body to get rid of the caffeine. Trvá 12 hodin, než se tvoje tělo zbaví kofeinu before it gets rid of caffeine. I think that after 6 hours, you still have about 50% of the caffeine in your body. And that's a lot. So if you want to sleep better, try to implement this rule. Try to watch yourself in the late afternoon hours, okay? So these are my rules, and I think we've been talking for 14 minutes now. So I'm gonna stop it right here. Let me know, please, if you have enjoyed this episode, if you have learned something, okay? If you think this brings you value, pokud se myslíš, že ti to přineslo nějakou hodnotu. And also, you can ask me more questions right here in the Spotify app. I think there's a button for that, for Q&A, ask me anything. So you can just ask me and I will try to speak English and reply to your question. And hopefully, we're all gonna have fun, and I think that's what this is about. Sorry if I made any mistakes in English. I do that sometimes. I'm only human. And this is, by the way, this is my only chance to speak English. So, yeah. Alright, nejlepším se má přestat. Mějte se skvěle, děti moje, ať se vám daří. Čus, trus, těším se u dalšího dílu.